Jackson here. Alright, so clearly from the title of my video, guys, you guys know that today we are going to be doing my very first story time. So I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a really long time, and I just was kind of like, I wanted to be something that, first of all of my stories, if you ever hear a story time from me, you can guarantee that it is 100% authentic, okay? These are not made up or embellished. Well, they're going to be embellished a little bit, but they're 100% real, okay? So today's my very first story time, and today we are going to be talking about that one time that I got beat up. Alright, so I have to give out a quick little disclaimer. This happened such a long time ago. I was a young girl. I was actually in 6th grade, so clearly that was a very long time ago. And I'm not like today, I'm not a combative person, but I am a little bit of a spitfire. Like I don't bring drama. Like I don't bring drama, but if it's brought to me, I'm almost certainly gonna finish it. Yo, I can't decide if I actually want to use names, but I think that I'm going to, because I came out on the losing end, so there's pie in my face. But anyways, alright, so check the scene, okay? It was like 1998, I think it was. Alright, I grew up on the west side of Chicago. I live on the south side now, but I grew up on the west side of Chicago by my great-grandparents. And so on the block, this was like back when you could actually be outside chilling, playing double dutch. They used to have a little snow cone, stuff outside. You could get you some like Doritos, put cheese and meat on it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So this was back in the day, like when neighbors knew each other. It was just a different time. It was a different time. So I'm sorry, I keep saying I have to give disclaimers, but I have to tell a story to tell the actual story. So we're gonna start with the first story because this led me into the second one, okay? So you guys are kind of like actually getting two stories in one. Okay, so on my block, there was this, well, I keep messing up. I'm sorry, forgive me, it's like my first time. Okay, so, when I was a little girl, right, when I was a young girl, I was always very quiet to myself. Not shy, I was never shy, but it did take a minute for people to for me to warm up to people. I was, very to myself and things like that. So, most of the time when I would be at school and when it was time for someone to pick on someone, male or female, for whatever reason, they decided to pick on little old Jazz, right? Okay, so for the most part, I would mind my business. I was one of those kids that would go tell the teacher, like such and such is, Brian is bothering me, and then Brian would get in trouble, right? So I was getting older, and I was like, I'm really tired of being this girl. Like, I'm tired of people picking on me. Like, I was trying to find myself as a person. It was weird. So, and I've dealt with this all my life, but literally in school, like, how the people have like personality traits. So there would be like kids, like the cool kids, there would be, the bad kids, and I was literally like somewhere in the middle, like somewhere smack dab in the middle. I didn't quite identify with everyone. So this particular summer, I decided that I wanted to be known as the chick that would beat your ass if you brought it, right? So I was like, yeah, when I get back to school, you know what I'm saying, they ain't gonna be ready for me, they ain't gonna be checking for me, I'm gonna bring it, you know what I mean? So what I needed to do was I had to like make myself known for fighting. Like, this was legitimately my thought process. I needed to make myself known for fighting. So summer 1998, was it 99? 98, summer 1998. There was this girl that lived across the street from me, and her name was Redhead, right? So Redhead was a very pretty girl, and she had red hair. That's why we called her Redhead. I don't remember her real name, but we called her Redhead. She was a very, very pretty girl, and all the guys liked her, including my brother Rico. So you know, I feel bad to say this, but I was, you know, low-key, high-key, like, hating on her. Like, I did not like, I did not like her. I had no reason to not like her. It was just one of those things. I was like, I don't like her, you know what I mean? Oh, no. Okay, so on top of the fact that all the dudes liked Redhead, right? First of all, you know, she was probably about 5 years older than me, because her and my brother were the same age and they went to the same school. So she was a couple years older than me. But, okay, there was this guy that lived on my side of the block, 3 houses down, and I liked him, but they were all the same age, so he was not checking for me. I don't know what I thought. Like, he was not checking for me. But I found out that him and Redhead had like a thing going on, and he was like, in my mind, he was bae. He was like my bae, right? So I was legitly mad that he, you know, liked Redhead. They literally would talk on the phone. This is when there was cordless phones, right? When cordless phones was still in, it was popping hot. They would literally talk to each other outside, across the street from each other, on the cordless phone, kind of looking at each other. Meanwhile, I'm looking over my gate like, you know, super hating, like, oh my god, I cannot, you know, right? So I wanted to prove to dude that, you know, she wasn't about nothing. I was like, you know, I need to figure out a way to prove that, you know, she ain't about that life, right? So I decided in my mind, I was gonna make it up in my mind, I was gonna fight Redhead. So, alright, so I grew up in a 3 flat, right? 2 flat. I grew up in a 2 flat, and the 2 flat, it was owned by my great aunt. So my entire family lived in this 2 flat. So I had cousins that lived upstairs, and then we lived downstairs on the 1st floor. So my cousin, her name is Tasha. I don't even know if it's Tasha Washington, but Tasha, you know, I ran upstairs like, you know, oh, I don't like, you know, I don't like Redhead. I'm going, you know, I'm gonna fight her, blah blah blah. Again, my cousins and my brothers, they're older, so they were all like apart, you know, they were all like the same age. So my cousin is gassing me up like, oh, for real, you gonna fight her? You gonna fight her? I'm like, yeah, I'm a boo boo, right? So they gassing me up, you know, they like rubbing my shoulders like, okay, cool. So we decided to go and call Redhead out. Okay, so we go across the street. Now, in my mind, I'm hearing like Rocky Balboa like theme song playing in my head. Like, I got my crew with me, like it's about to go down, right? So, so y'all keep in mind, I'm still telling y'all the first story though. I haven't even got to the second story. I'm leading up to the fact of the second story. Keep that in mind. Alright, so we go across the street. I knock on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Redhead like, who is it? I'm like, it's Jazz. It's Jazz from across the street. Come outside, right? So Redhead come outside. She like, what's going on? I'm like, I heard. Listen, FYI, you know a bitch lying when she say I heard, okay? Keep it right. I was like, I heard that you was talking about me. Redhead like, what? What are you talking about? You don't act stupid. Don't act stupid now. I heard that you was talking about me. She's like, little girl, pause right there, okay? Because I was younger and I was smaller, I had a serious issue with people calling me little girl. I I was not about that life. Like, I hated it with a passion because my brothers and my cousins were older than me. I always wanted to be and hang around them, and so I would act, or at least attempt to act more mature, right? So anyways, that was all she had to say to me. By this time, we had walked downstairs from her steps, and we were like standing like on the sidewalk, right? P.S. Her boyfriend, the dude that I liked, was like on his porch watching. So I'm really gassed. She's like, "Look, girl, I ain't say nothing about you, blah blah blah." So we're arguing back and forth, and she like, "Well, run up and get done up," you know what I mean? Like that was the type of stuff we would say. Run up and get done up, you know what I'm saying? What's good, So I'm like, what? And I punch her in the nose, right? Really hard, and I broke her nose, right? That's not funny. It's really not funny. But I was so deathly, legitly, I was like afraid to fight her. So, fighting a scared person is worse than fighting somebody to think that they can actually beat you up, because the strength is just a little bit different. So I punched her in the nose, right? Boom! Punched her in the nose, and I broke her nose, and her nose instantly started to bleed, right? And I was like so afraid, low-key. I was like, sad that I had did that to her, but I couldn't tell my cousins. So she was so like taken back, like she was like stunned, and we was just like standing there. It felt like a million years, but it was just a couple of seconds, and she was like, "You bitch," and she like wiped her nose with her hand like this, like smeared it, and then she like smeared the blood all over my face. Like, it was so crazy, and my cousin grabbed me, and now my cousin all in it and everything, and it was just crazy, right? Okay, so I just told that long story to tell the real story. So after that, I was really gassed. Like, I was like, I'll beat a BA, no problem, on site, any minute. What's up? Run up and get done up. You know what I mean? So run up and get done up. So by this point, I'm known as the people's champ on the block. They're like, "Yo, Lil Jazz just beat up Redhead." Like, I hit ain't no. This was like back in the day. Like, you had to like really talk to people. So everybody's like, "Oh my God, you beat up Redhead. Oh my God," So. Meanwhile, Redhead, like months later, still trying to get a rematch and everything, and I'm like, I don't want to fight her. I'm scared, you know what I mean? So fast forward to my 6th year, fast forward to sixth grade, right? So while my block had known that I was about that life, my school didn't know that I was about that life. And that is what I needed to prove, because my problem wasn't on my block. My problem was at school, because all of my classmates or people in my class, they just like felt it necessary to pick on me. So I needed to prove that I was about that life that I was in the summertime at school too. So I don't know what class I was in. I don't really remember, but I know that my teacher she had like she had a thick accent, so I'm not sure if we were in like either a math class or if we were like in a foreign language course or whatever the case. But anyways, I wasn't feeling that day. I had a really bad attitude, and I didn't want to do my work. And my teacher had decided to say something to me, and I decided to like get smart with her. So she said something, "Oh, Jasmine, blah blah blah," and I was like, I ain't doing nothing. What? I was like, just really like being mean, right? So I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. My teacher, whatever, I don't know what happened. But in the midst of that, sits Valine. Okay, never forget this name. In the midst of that, in the front of me, literally right in front of me, sits Valine. Now, keep in mind, I'm 5'2", right now. Okay, 5'2" right now. That's still really short. So that means that in 6th grade I was like 4 whatever. I don't even think I was soaking wet 100 pounds. Period. Valine appeared that she had like got held back a couple of years, or at least a year. She was very tall and she was very developed, like overly developed. She was tall, she had really big boobs, like like hips, like she was like, she looked like a fully grown woman in 6th grade. I'm not even lying. So, you know, I'm going back and forth with my teacher, and Valine said something, and I'm sitting in the back of her and I'm like, what the f you just say? What you just say? Valine turned around like, what? You heard me. What you just say out your mouth? What you just say? Valine like, little girl. Why'd she do that? Why did she do that? I said, I must have turned around like, little girl. I got your little girl. This little girl will beat your ass though. I was so bad for no reason. So Valine was like, you know, she's sitting there like, what? I'm like, yeah, this little girl beat your ass though. Matter of fact, since you running your mouth, meet me after school. Right? That was like, you know, that was like the thing. Matter of fact, since you want to run your mouth so much, meet me after school then. Valine was like, alright. Yo, when I tell you that was the fastest, like, class is like 45 minutes, right? That was the fastest class had ever like went in my life. I was so deathly afraid. Let me pause for a second, because like after I said that, after I was like, yo, you know, this little girl beat your A. Matter of fact, meet me after school. The whole classroom was like, oh, Valine, the jazz about to fight. Valine, the jazz about to fight. It's about to be one, right? I swear to God, people were like betting like who was gonna win the fight, who was gonna do this, who was gonna do that, yo. So anyways, it was the fastest that this class had ever let out in my life. I was deathly, I have to reiterate, I was deathly afraid. I was hot. I was like trying to figure out how I could get out of it. Like it was just so bad. Like my mouth had caught up to me. So at that point, so when class let out, I got my stuff out of my, I got my stuff out of my, what do you call that thing? I got my bags and whatever. It was still summer, so it was hot outside. I got all my stuff, and I swear to you that by the time I made it outside, the entire school knew that me and Valine were about to fight. You would have thought it was Pacquiao and Mayweather. Like it was lit. Like everybody knew that we were about to fight. And like, you know, when you're in school, when you fight, it's like a ring. Like people get, you know, they surround you and you are in the middle and you fight. You know what I mean? So everyone's like, yo, you know, it's just like the just like the summer. Yo, Jazz, don't worry about it. You could take her. You could take her. You got it. You got it. Meanwhile, Valine is by herself. She's like, you still, you know, she's just like waiting. They're like, yo, Valine over there, waiting for you. I'm like, alright, cool, alright, scared shitless. I get up to Valine and we're like, you know, head on, face to face, like, you know, what's good. Valine's like, yo, I don't really know what's up with you. Like, I don't want to fight you. Like, you know, I don't want to fight you. So I'm like, nah, you know, you running all that, you talking all that gas, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's whatever, you know. Valine's like, I'm not gonna hit you, but if you hit me, I'm going to beat your ass. In Chicago, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but in the 90s we used to say a word. We used to say that we gonna mollywop you, right? Mollywop. So I was like, what? I'll mollywop your ass. Like it's whatever. All I'm saying is, if you hit me, I'm going to beat you up. I should have known in that moment, like, I was about to get beat up. I had no idea. So mind you, like I said, Valine was like 5 something. But it felt like she was much taller. Again, I'm 4 something. I was literally like face to face with her stomach. Like, that's how it was. Like, I was face to face with her stomach. So I run up to Valine and I punch her in the stomach. Boom! With all of my might. Yo, Valine didn't move, son. Valine didn't move. Valine was like, that's the best you got? Yes? Yes, it is the best that I got. Yes, yes it is. It is the best that I got. I tried to hit her again. Only this time, like when I try to hit her, she blocks my punch. And she comes across with this haymaker. I promise you, it came from Texas, y'all. And swung up, I ran up and got done up. Boom, it hit me right in the eye. I just remember falling back. Like, all I remember is hearing a bunch of people go, oh my God. It was like in slow motion. Oh my God, Valine just knocked out Jazz. Yo, everybody was over me like that. Like, oh my God, you got knocked the fuck out. In that moment, like, I had saw my life flash before my eyes. Like, I knew in '98 that I was gonna be a YouTuber. Like, I had already saw it. Like, I saw my kid, I saw the surge of the iPhone. So because I'm a G, you know what I mean, I'm not just gonna take it like that, you know what I'm saying? So I got up. At this point my eye was starting to close. I can still see out that eye, I remember. My eye was starting to close. I was shaking. I was shaken up. I was bewildered. But I couldn't adequately see out the eye, so I just started swinging for my life. Swinging for my life. I am so glad that I am not a part of this generation, because that fight would have been on World Star. Valine comes up from the side of me and hits the other eye. Boom! Out goes Jazz again. I lay on the ground, and at that point I was done. Somebody had to pick me up and take me to my house. My mom comes outside. She's like, oh my God, Jazz, what is wrong with you? What's going on? Valine up on the side, like, I told her that I didn't want to fight her. I told her if she hit me first, I was gonna hit her back. She was so calm during the entire time. This is when you know that you're about to get beat up, because somebody is so calm on you. Like I should have known. That was Friday. And that happened on a Friday. All I know is that when I got back to school that Monday, the entire world knew that Jazz had got beat up. And yes, I had to go to school with 2 black eyes. Like, it was so counterproductive of what I was trying to do, because now it was like, oh, you really can't fight. I was known as like Jackson, you know, like Jazz, you know, the girl that got beat up over the weekend. I was known as that girl the rest of the year, and everybody, it seemed like, pulled it with me. I could be walking down the street like minding my business, and people would just be across the street like, what's good, you know, run up and get done up. Alright guys, so that is the end of my first story time. Did you guys like it? Let me know, and tell me, like, have you guys gotten into a situation where you know, bit off a little bit more than you could chew? Listen, I tell that story till this day to anybody that will listen, especially when I hear people like bullies and people that like to fight other people. I always tell that story because, like, you just never know, and you should not go pick a fight, you know what I mean? Like, I legitimately picked a fight, and it's so funny because, like, you know, my son is at that age that I was at now. Actually, he'll be in 5th grade this year, but he's getting close to that, and so I actually told him that story of like fighting, because I, you know, just try to tell him, like, you know, pick and choose your battles, because you can't, you know, you can't fight everybody. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and tell me about your fight stories. Oh, I do have to say though, like, after that I did learn my lesson, and yeah, you know, I kind of pulled back from fighting. And P.S. after the fight happened, Redhead like tried to come back at me like, you can't fight no way, that was a cheap shot, let's do it again. Only I knew better. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that, son, I'm good. So alright, love you guys so much. I'll check you out in my next video. Until then, peace out.